Welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, with me is Megan.
Hello, everybody.
You know what's really funny about it, though, is like I think about Ironside, and it's like
Ironside.
so easy, but I'm also thinking maybe it's because I took those notes when I was learning all the characters.
But we were so invested to take the notes, though.
Yeah.
Like it was like second nature.
Yeah. And I'm terrified of what this next book's going to be. Have you seen her like posts and teasers about it?
Yes.
And I'm like, wait,
sorry,
what?
I didn't meet that. Yes.
I'm gonna cry.
I don't.
I'm like, no more.
I'm hoping she just needs the ending, like the not like throughout the book, because I really don't want an angsty. Like if you make us wait like 7-8 months, however many months she made us wait, and then if you give us a book where she's completely separated from them for like a whole book because she's with the father, like if you give us a whole book like that, people aren't going to be happy, because there's been a couple book like series that have done that where like the character wasn't with like the people for the whole book. Half the book I can tolerate. I'd rather it be like a third or something. But like people riot. A quarter, yeah. But like the last, yeah.
No, I get it. And
well,
like
yeah,
with Ironside, I'm like, I've seen she just posted like I don't know when, like emojis of like you're reading it, and there's like crying, and then like normal and smiley, and then sweaty, and then like hot. And so I'm like, is it? So it tells me that maybe it's just all
they're like
again. But I'm just worried, because her father's so evil. Her father is so evil. And then I'm like, if Bellamy, did she ever confirm how many are in the group? Like by the end, because I'm like, is Bellamy gonna end up something? But he's not, because he's not her mate. So he's not gonna end up.
Yeah, he wasn't
anything but a friend if he ends up a friend and not a foe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I start to worry. I'm like, maybe he'll like help. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe he'll be there. I just.
What if some kind of other event happens and she dies, and then it like she could like fuck with us, and then she could die and get another mate? That could happen, because everyone's like, oh no, he wasn't there for the initial event. He couldn't be. But what if?
But can they tell? Because I was just listening to the audio of when this happens, when she dies. And like, I always pictured her eyes kind of like a pie. Like, you know, like, so like, there's just like these, like, it's clear. Like this sliver is this color. This sliver is this color. Like kind of,
I pictured it totally different. I pictured it like multiple circles around.
See, when I read it, it sounded, it's more like blotchy. Like almost like a watercolor, where it's just like wavy, blotchy air of all the different colors.
That sounds pretty. I pictured it as just a ring, like multiple ring stacks, like ring. Okay. You know what I mean? Like a
I pictured it. Wow. Okay.
That's interesting. That we should do a post and be like, okay, we discovered people like imagine the eyes different. How do you imagine the eyes?
It's just you read it one way, but then you change it, right? Like, because when I listened to it on the audio, I was like, oh, it's more like blotchy. But I totally pictured it just like all around, like not a pinwheel, but kind of, you know? So, anyways, so like there's so many in there that it sounds like can they really count how many colors?
That's fair. That is
his eyes didn't change that we know of.
He wasn't there that we know of, and she hasn't like showed up in front of him or anything.
That's true. Yeah, so he's just gonna be a friend. I hope he ends up a friend,
unless she dies again, and like, because you know she already has 10 mates.
I am torn about that, because part of me is like, what's one more? At this point,
true. But it might be like, but he's also a beta, and they're all alphas, so maybe, I don't know.
It can happen.
It can happen. I mean, there's a lot of books in this series, right? So who knows? I just hope she doesn't like make it like, this is a really long wait. And she said that it's like with the editor right now. So I'm like, I don't know if she needed to put the book that far out. Like, she could have done April or like May 1st.
Yeah, but you know, it's okay. It's okay, because we have
That's
Everything's
true.
gonna happen again in May though, because like Tijan has another one, and then isn't
Right?
Prince's coming out in May?
Princes, everything comes out in
Ironside
May.
again in May.
It was supposed
Hopefully,
to be the last Jennifer one, but she moved that. But yeah, there's like a ton. It's because it's like I think that's the 6 month mark. So like everything came out in like November, and
yeah,
then everything is coming out in May.
yeah,
But it's good because it comes out on a holiday.
a
What is it?
holiday weekend, Memorial Day
Memorial
week.
Day.
Good.
Yeah, on Memorial Day. So my plan is to change my Kindle over to Amazon Australia and get it on the Sunday. So it's Sunday and Monday. I have tips if
Do
you want to
that.
do it. I have tips if you would like to do it. I don't know if you needed to get an Australian VPN to do it, but I did
Mm.
do that. But I don't know if you need to. I think you can just go on Amazon Australia.
Well, and also sometimes people order like the paperbacks and they come early.
That's
So that
true.
always makes
That's
me
true.
nervous because if there's like a mistake, I want the correct.
Yeah.
I don't
Although I think
understand.
she gives her ARC readers them like pretty far in advance. Sarah, did I ever tell you when she was first promoting this, I signed up for the promotion stuff because I was going to sign up for the ARC, but then I was reading the promos and I saw that it was third person first point of view. And I was like, you know what? I was in that phase of not doing ARCs that I wasn't passionate about. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sign up. I'm like, it sounded really good. I'm not going to sign up. I regret that.
Oh
I
yeah.
regret it so I regret it so hard. Could have been on that
Yeah,
ARC team.
but you know what? I'm kind of over arcs. Like I don't
True.
want arcs anymore. Like I just because right now they're so intense about they want you to like post your review on release day and submit the link
Yeah.
like so fast and like all this stuff and
I
I'm
don't
like
do that.
you're not giving me enough time to read. Like you're not even giving me enough time to read this thing and I'm like I'm just so
Yeah.
I'm like sticking with what I'm at and I'm trying now. I just use the PR emails to like look to see if there's anything interesting that I
Yeah,
want to
definitely
read.
for PR. Smart.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'll stay on Heather's ARC team. Like I'm on another
Mhm.
ARC team, but I just can't. And I'm like, I
I
want
still
to
get the
follow what
emails
I
but
want to
haven't.
read. Like I've turned
I
into a
agree.
mood reader, and I'm like, if I'm not feeling it, I don't want to read it.
I feel that. I feel that. And the whole thing about that about posting on release day, okay, you can do that maybe to Instagram and Goodreads, but you really shouldn't do that on I mean, you can do it on Goodreads and Instagram, but like not Amazon because
No.
Amazon, I keep seeing people get their accounts taken away for
Yeah.
strange reviewing activity.
Hmm.
And then some people are like, oh, that's just like when you say that you can't like say exchange for reviews if that's fake. I'm like, no, this isn't. I see it happen all the time. Like I always get the if it's on KU, I get the KU book. I have like Alexa read through it or I'll like scroll through it and I wait a little bit because I don't want to get flagged and lose my Amazon privileges.
No. Yeah.
Because yeah, that would suck. And there are certain books I do want the arcs of like Angel and Sam. There are certain books you do want early.
Yeah.
Not all of them. And I like to have it to keep so I don't have to buy it. That's kind of nice.
Hmm.
But
Right. So
only
like
certain ones. Yeah.
certain ones. Yeah. And like Jane's, I would be on her ARC team. I would apply. Um,
Yeah. Because then
because
you
I
get to
love
keep
it.
it.
I love it. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with it. But
Agreed.
there's a lot. It's a lot of
Definitely.
work, especially when you're busy. Like I'm just too
Yeah.
busy. And then I'm like tired at night. And oh my gosh, I stayed up until midnight reading CM's book.
Do you
I'm
like it?
still reading. I'm not done, but I'm
Neither
loving it.
do
I love it.
neither
It's
am
gold. It's
I.
pure
It's
gold.
so
I'm like,
good, guys.
I'm just
It's so
like, I am just
good.
like, give me all of this. And I'm just so happy because I'm looking at the percentage and it's still so low. And I've read so much. And I'm like, this thing is so big. I love
I know
it.
it's like 16 hours left. Yes.
Yes.
What chapter are you on?
You're way ahead of me, I think.
I don't know. I didn't get a ton of reading done recently. I had like a really long day today and stuff, and I fell asleep early.
Let me see where I'm at. Because I know you said you're at chapter like 30 something.
I wrote it wrong. So like this morning I fell asleep to like Alexa reading it to me, and this morning I went to like put it back, like listen to it in the car. And I was like, wait a minute. I think I said backwards. I was on 23, not 32.
Okay, well, you're still ahead of me. I'm on 14. There's
Okay. I think I'm on
117 bobas
25
left.
now. Yeah, I'm at the 80. There's 80 bobas left where I'm
My
at.
gosh, when it jumped down so much, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it jumped so far already." So I'm like, just it's
I know.
so
Yeah.
but I like it because they just did like he just ended up at the same boba shop as her. And they actually talked
Mm.
a little bit, and I love that he's such an a-hole and he's kinda showing it to her, and like, I like this so much better than, like, the fake you know? Like, I love it, and I liked his POV where he kept seeing her and finding a way to get away from her. Because like, I'm thinking, like, "Why
Yeah.
isn't this working? Why isn't this working?" And I'm like, "Oh, it is." He's just like, it's just taking time, and then even her brother's POV, I was like, "I love that I'm getting
I
even something
love it.
outside of this." I'm like, "This is so amazing." And then I feel
Have
for, like,
you
the whole
gotten Casey?
yeah,
Casey has the POV too, so I like that we get all
yeah,
four of their POVs.
yeah. Like,
That's
I
so
was just like,
cool.
I
Not
love
expecting
all of
it.
it. Yeah, and then, even like this and it just totally makes sense with like and she set it up with the curse so well where I'm like, I totally believe this. Like just the
Me
whole thing about
too.
Joe and then this person it worked and this person it didn't work. And I'm just like, wow. I just
And
love
it's such a great concept that, like, yes, so you have this curse. I believe it. There's all these scenarios, the ancestors, and then she gets cursed with like a pop star, so she has to be a stalker
it. Yeah.
for a pop star with, and he has always these crazy fans, so she just sounds crazy. I kind of like it. She's like reverse forcibly has to stalk him
Yeah.
and like do all these weird jobs. It's just it's really brilliant, honestly. It's so
It is.
different. I
It
love
is.
it.
And I want to
Love
know,
it.
I could see how like I could see it reflecting like the Taylor Swift tour that's happening. And like there's just so many
Mhm.
layers that I'm like, that CM sat there and really thought about like how hard it is to do that and this, but then
Mhm.
also like Casey, like her part of it, like her like being like lonely and in this relationship. Like what, like, it's like and she's such a small part so far. But then like we
Yeah.
have like just like Lake too, and like her like you said, like having to stalk and figure out and the brother being like, we're doing it this way, and like the family just figuring it out, like,
Love
here,
it.
we're buying you this room for the night, like I could just picture that, like being like, okay, here's my best dress and here's this, and I'm donating, like
Mhm.
it's just so insane. And then I was thinking about because I'm like, wow, that's crazy that he like quit his job and he let go of the apartment. I'm like, but it's your sister's life. Like we're gonna spend this year
Yeah.
to like make this happen.
To literally, it's like a cancer treatment. It's like giving up everything your time, effort, everything to like say, especially after losing their cousin. It like I hate to say I like that they did that, but it makes it
Yes.
seem more urgent and powerful that
Yes.
they're grieving and
Hmm.
that they really believe the curse and like the circumstances of it all. So
I agree.
yeah,
So
it's
good.
so well done. And like I and like how they were saying like that they're kind of forced into this relationship. I've heard of that, like these PR relationships. And
Hmm.
I think Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez was like a real thing, but that comes to mind a little bit of, these young pop stars kind of forced together and having these dates that are public because it's good for their career. And I'm like, oh gosh, is she the Haley Beaver? I'm like, no, but she's not Haley because she's not rich or anything. But you know what I mean? It's like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I was thinking
yeah.
about that because like Taylor Swift, I'm like, okay, but then
Mhm.
she left and she's doing her own thing. So I'm like, when's Tam gonna do that? He's kind of working towards that now, right? Because he's like, listen to these songs, let me know what you think. And then like, all this
Oh
other
yeah.
stuff. I was like, oh, when's he gonna?
If he could let go. I think he's so scared to lose his career.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Or
he's
to like strike it out.
so tired.
So he's so managed to like over manage. And I think she takes a lot of inspiration from like K-pop too, where they
Hmm.
because he had like gone through one of those trainings where they put
Yeah.
them through those like rigorous trainings and it's their freaking life. And it's like
It's
I
so
mean what they go through is insane.
so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love it. I love it. And this is
me
one of
too.
those times where like I haven't felt this in a really long time because like with like
Mm-hmm.
Ironside recently was like I just want to read the book. So
Yeah.
like this morning I
Mm-hmm.
woke up and I'm like I don't have time because sometimes I can read in bed for like a couple of minutes. I'm like I don't have time. Like the next chapter's 30 minutes long. I don't have that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I get home from like work and I'm like, I don't have it. I can't do it yet, and I'm like, okay, when's the bedtime so I can like just lay in bed
Me too.
and then I'm like, cut off's midnight, Sarah. You can last off a 6 hours sleep. Like, You know, like it's
That's
just
when you know when you're bargaining with yourself of how much sleep you can get
right? And
and
then he goes
read.
down like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you could really do 5 hours. You can do it. Tomorrow's Friday." You
Hmm.
know, like, it's like yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
It's like
I
that's
do.
a sign of the good book is when you're like,
It's so
mhm,
nice and the thing is we've been anticipating like a new release from her for so long. Then we heard about this book and we've been anticipating this and then like to have it like not only meet expectations but like
yeah,
above. Oh,
mhm.
and you know how picky I am with standalones. Like I love that it's a nice thick standalone and it's so good.
I feel
I'm
like,
obsessed.
I was thinking about Devil's Day. I'm like, "That's a really good standalone of hers too," and I'm like
It is
so
my
I'm like
favorite RH standalone ever.
right? Oh, that one's just
Hmm.
so incredibly good. That's
I'm
such a good
sorry, but
standalone
no one
RH. Yeah.
has ever done a standalone RH of that caliber. I'm sorry, not sorry. That's the truth.
Well,
That's
because
the
with
truth.
Devil's Day, you
Like,
go from, like, pure bully
mhm.
to, like and the Groundhog's Day thing to, like, actually, like, relationships and then figuring out how to break the cycle to be together in one book, and you
All in
fully understand
one book,
the character
one
from being
day.
a brat, all of them grew too. Every single character
Hmm.
grew in this, and then, like, from brat to, like, decent human to, like was just like,
Yeah.
wow.
And you got to know each guy individually with their own
Mhm.
personalities. I
Mhm.
mean, it was just, I mean, I cried.
I know.
It had meaning. I mean, and it wasn't just and that's what I love about CM. It's like she won't, it's a romance book, but she will talk about family and friends. Like she
Mhm.
talked about, like, the character Karma spent time with her moms and her
Yeah.
family and her
And her
friends. Like,
sister. Yeah.
yeah, and that's like with Lost Daughter of a serial killer. The fact that like there was so much to do with her mom and stuff like that relationship with her mom was a huge part of the story.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just need more out of my romance. Like I just need
Mhm.
plot, a good story, and romance with it.
Yeah.
And like that's what this is. I mean, it's a slow burn,
Yeah.
and I'm here for it.
I'm so here for it. Well, I just love that he even like I love how Tam is like, if only my fans knew I couldn't like get it up. Like, like he's in the show and he's like, I can't even, I'm too
Yeah.
tired. And I was like, yeah, but you
Hmm.
can tell that like he could if he thought of her. Like I bet, so I'm just like, this is like gold. Like I was like, oh my
Part
gosh.
I have a theory, and my theory is maybe like ever since she got the curse, he can't get it up like at all. Like maybe it's like
Mhm.
that's my theory. I don't know. Like
Right.
I can tell you that's not been confirmed or anything, but that's like my theory is
I
that
like
maybe
that
that has
theory.
something
I
to
bet
do with
that.
it. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
like because they're just
I
meant for
almost
each
wanna
other.
reread already and be like, when did he start getting really exhausted and over it? Like, was it when
Hmm.
that time hit? Like, was that just, like, the curse working? Like, fate?
Could have been.
I love
I
it.
guess we'll see. I
Ugh.
can't believe some people are like they finished it already, and I guess they're just like speed. First of all, I'm savoring. Second off, work. Like I don't know.
If I was getting tired last night and I started kinda skim reading, and I'm like, "No, no, like, get back there and read each word, Sarah," and I did, and I was like, "This is what I need." Like, it's okay if
Hmm.
I, like, take forever to read this chapter. Like, it's fine. Like, I like, savoring it. Yeah, people who are done already, I'm like, "What do you do?" Because even if I read all day, I don't think I would be done in a day, but I'm a slow reader.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing I get, well, maybe some people are reading fast, and like if that's what they do, that's what they do. But it's like for a book this big, I can understand it for like a 300-page book or a 250-page book for sure. But like, especially if it's one where you do skim over stuff. But I'm like, I don't get it for this. This is
There's
a
no scenes I need to
long book.
skim. I've been skimming all the steamy scenes lately.
Me
Like, I was reading
too.
that Ensnared and Entangled, and, like, after the
Right.
first one, I was just like, "I don't" but it's not my thing, Megan. I didn't finish the Entangled one because
Mhm,
what did I move on to? I don't remember. But, I was
mhm.
just like, I'm not into the, like, sir and the, like, dominance thing and
Oh,
stuff.
that's not
It's
for
like and
you.
it's just, like, constant. Like, I felt like in the whole dynamic, and I was like, "No,
Yeah,
no, I'm
it's
over."
it, it's very like BDSM like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oriented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not happy with the Heather person and half the guys, and I'm like, "You guys all just need to sit down and have a freaking conversation." Like,
True that.
so I'm just like, and then Jake's all upset and people are mad at her because of Jake. And like, there's this whole thing. And I'm like, I'll go back to it. But that book, I was like skim reading a lot. So,
I get that. I can listen to like some of those scenes. Um, although I do like if I'm gonna read some of those scenes, I do prefer something that's a little different like that. But I think I liked that series because the audio was so good. Because it was every guy had a narrator. Even the
like,
bad guys in book 2
oh, wow.
had their own voices. So I was like, okay.
Okay.
But no, I totally get you. I feel like we're very in sync with that, where we're it's just like we're desensitized and kind of over it, and like like I don't need the smut. I need the romance.
Yeah.
I need the plot. I need the romance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want
And
fade to black all the time, but I
yeah,
don't
no,
want
no, no, no.
everything else all the
But
time.
it doesn't need to be every scene. And then it's like people are and I see writers all the time, authors saying like, oh, like I had like being like put out by writing these scenes and like, oh, how can I be more creative? And I'm like, you don't like if it's not natural, if it's not flowing, it's not necessary. Like you could just say that like one scene or two scenes can fade to black. You don't need to have a scene all the time. But then someone will be reading a book and they'll be like, oh, there wasn't very much spice or whatever. And I'm just like, it was a really good book. There is spice later. Like you don't. I guess people just. I don't know. I guess they're starved for it or something. I guess we're just desensitized. I feel like in books, every character has the freaking implant. I've never met one person in my like real life that's ever had the implant or the shot. I've never met anybody.
I'm
Have
like, is
you?
that an Australian thing?
I think it's just an easy book fix.
Yeah.
Like how in magic books they have a magic spell.
Yeah, drink this tea and they're fine. And it's like,
Take
yeah,
this
if
shot.
only.
Yeah. And then we'll just say that she forgot a shot, like Anastasia Steele, if we want her to get pregnant.
Sorry, we're all eye rolling. Oh, I love it. Oh gosh, Megan.
This could be a bonus episode.
Right?
It's like halfway or like 1/3 of the way through. If you don't love me, we both die in talking about how we are over smut.
Our conversations are such a windy road.
Hey, that's a podcast, baby. I think it works.
We just had like a whole episode. April's
I think there we go.